Hi everyone, Silver Joker here. Okay, so I went down and talked to my local coin store owner, Phil, like I do on a regular basis. If you follow my channel, you know this. And you guys have asked me questions in the comments quite often. So based on those comments, I put together 6 questions that I asked him in this video. And his thoughts on crypto and where crypto may go in the future opened my eyes to some possibilities that I was not even aware of when it comes to crypto. And I think you guys will find it as interesting as I did. So if you want to hear what that is, stick around.
Well, most of the time, if somebody brings something in that is either counterfeit or fake, they usually don't know it. So we have to inform them that it is and hand it back to them and tell them, it's something that we don't buy. Over time, you see a lot of different things. You get established as a business locally, and I think people know that if they're intentionally trying to sell something to you that isn't correct or isn't real, they usually avoid us and they probably try to go somewhere else, like a flea market or somewhere where they potentially maybe could find a buyer that may not know. Telltale sign, and this is really true, is the fact that when people try to sell, and this is for your viewers, this is a good way to determine whether somebody's really trying to sell them something that isn't real. If they're willing to take an amount that doesn't seem realistic, and again, we go back to market value, if they're willing to take something that isn't realistic for what they're selling you, chances are you better take a second look at it. And because we do offer, again here, we offer market value for everything that walks in, we have to be very good ourselves in determining that it is genuine before we make the offer, because we don't like people trying to pull one over on us coming in, and if they do, chances are we'll catch them. If we do catch them, we usually tell them, if it's unintentional, we can understand it. If it's intentional, we probably don't want to see them again. We just don't need customers like that. There are too many good customers out there that we kind of keep an eye out for. As far as when we resell an item, obviously we want to give our customers genuine products. We want to give them genuine items. So, we test everything as it comes in. We make sure it's real when we buy it. So when we resell it, obviously our customers are getting what they're paying for. We might buy large amounts of 90% silver, and as we sort through it, we might find some clad silver in there. We counted it. We paid them for 90% silver. That's probably a lot of the time the biggest thing that goes on here. And we pull it out, put it in our cash register drawer, and move on. There's no. That's our fault for not going through it. But when there's a large amount that come in, a lot of times we just stack it up and count it and pay them accordingly. Sometimes it gets in the bag, and as customers look through it, they remind us, hey, you got a 73 Kennedy in here, and they just give it to us, and we put it in a cash drawer and move on. In fact, I had somebody come in today they called me before they came in and asked if we charge for checking out gold bars, and I said, of course not. Because we want to make sure the market is a safe market. Right. So what we do with, he said, do you charge or can we pay you to test our bars? I said, just bring them in. We'd be happy to test them for you, because you need to know if they're real. Because if you bought them and they're not real, you need to go back to the person that sold them. And if they aren't real, you can't resell them to somebody else as real ones. You want to make sure that so we appreciate when people just come in with things and say, could you check this out for us and see if they're real? And we do that. We've got machines, we got testing items that we test for bullion and things like that. But we do that free of charge, again, to make the market more of a safe market, which is important for everybody. I usually do not use reference books because, again, reference books usually are outdated one way or the other. Anybody that collects baseball cards knows that the book value of a baseball card is nowhere near what you're going to get for your baseball card. So we go to what we call market value. And the best way for us to determine market value, and I'll use the term consistent because it's very important, consistent sales of an item, probably through an auction, that shows the same results over and over again. That is how we would determine market value of anything. Current market value, if it's an extremely rare item and you don't see a lot of sales recently, you have to go back to the last sale that you can find, and then go back even further and see if there's an increase or decrease in an item, and kind of project where you might think it would be today. Some things increase in value, some things actually decrease in value. So there isn't always a formula that we use. There's no formula we use. We basically we use the sources that we have available today, which we didn't have available 20 years ago, and that's basically auction house prices, realized prices from auction houses, and also just market value when you find something online that somebody's trying to sell. And again, we don't really look at asking prices. We always have to focus on what something's sold for, because a lot of people are very optimistic about what they're selling, and they put high asking prices on items. And it might look good for somebody walking in with something that they think their item's worth a certain amount because somebody's asking that amount for it. The problem is there has to be a buyer. And every collectible item, whether it's coins or any other collectible, essentially the value of an item is determined by, at that point in time, what somebody out there or a group of people, more than one usually, that you have to find more than one buyer, is willing to pay for that item, and that usually sets the price. We try to stick with what we're being asked in terms of our buyers being asked for what we have and available. We don't try to push new items on people. For example, if somebody keeps coming in buying gold, we figure they don't want silver, or they would have asked for it. They probably don't want platinum, palladium, so we don't try to force that on them. So we focus really on more of an idea of what our customer base is telling us that they want, and we focus on obtaining those items for them. And so we would probably avoid something that's potentially nobody's ever asked for, and we don't see a value in having it in the showcase. It isn't that we couldn't show something new to somebody, but at the same time, if it's a high dollar item, we don't want to be sitting on it year after year after year. To explain a portion of how the business works, it's a matter of cash flow. You need to keep your cash flowing. You need to buy and sell and buy and sell and buy and sell, and you make a little bit of money on every buy and sell. Hopefully, you don't make a home run on any of it, and you hopefully buy something that will resell fairly quickly. Now, we have a big inventory, but again, in collector coins, you have to have an inventory to be able to draw the collectors in. You can't tell them we will get it next week or next month or next year, whenever it would be. Usually collectors have a little more urgency than waiting for you to find something for them. Now, we do that for people that understand there are certain things we have to go out and find for them, but for the most part, we dedicate a lot of inventory dollars to our store so we can show people something when they come in that they might be interested in.
Mm-hmm.
The positive is the fact that I think because of the increase in gold and silver, it's brought attention to people's own finances, and they realize that gold and silver, and I've said this a lot of times, truly is the only world currency out there. I mean, the precious metals, gold, silver, platinum, palladium, possibly oil, obviously, but those are what I call world currency. I mean, that has a world value regardless of what the US dollar does, what the Chinese dollar does, what the Australian dollar does. That has an impact on that country, but it doesn't have an impact as much on the overall currency of what I call silver and gold, which is the only true world currency. So I think people have over the years come to realize that, hey, gold can be taken to any country and sold. Silver can be taken to any country and sold. They have a value associated with it. So you could take a US dollar to anywhere in the world and try to sell it. They may or may not value it. It really depends on the country, but at the same time, silver and gold is valued everywhere. So there is a value associated with it. So I think that's a positive. I think over the time of what I've seen is people have established that as basically a world currency. They're not talking about backing it with US dollars or Chinese dollars. They're talking about using something substantial, which is silver and gold, to back crypto, which makes sense to me. If you're going to back it with something that has, you can physically hold, and a country isn't dependent on the country's economic status in terms of what that value is, because silver and gold is going to be pretty much set. The price is set worldwide, and it just depends on what the world determines that's worth. So you can't worry about whether the economic system of the United States or China or Australia or the European nations is functioning if crypto's backed by their currency. You have to worry about the fluctuations in the currency. But if you do silver and gold, obviously it's to me it's a steadier base where if you're gonna back crypto, I would choose either silver or gold. Yeah, certainly. Yeah. I get that question all the time. Will we see $3, $4, $5, $6 silver like we did back in 2000? Do I think we'll see $6 silver? No, I don't. Silver and gold's not going to go away. Whether it's crypto comes in and they use that as a currency, either a country or a world currency. It's good. Silver and gold will always have a demand. Yes, it's not going to go away. It's been around for too long, and it's going to be around for a long time. Yeah, I don't believe that it will ever be replaced by anything that's man-made. We've seen countries get to the point where the currency is worth nothing. But silver and gold has always had a value over time, as far back as you can think, and I think as far as we can look in the future, it will always have a value.
All right, well, there you have it, a candid conversation with my local coin store owner. More of that to come, I promise you. If you like what you see, you might consider giving me a thumbs up. Thumbs up helps my channel out a lot. It shows YouTube that people like what they're seeing, so YouTube places my video where more people can see it. That's always a good thing. If you haven't subscribed already, you might consider subscribing and ringing that bell. Be notified as soon as I put out another video. And I just checked, and I'm 5 subscribers away from 30,000 subscribers. That's a milestone for my channel. I mean, that is just unbelievable, and I appreciate you guys staying with me and watching my videos and just commenting and liking and sharing my videos. It's an awesome thing, and I got a very nice giveaway when my channel reaches 30,000 subscribers. So I really appreciate you guys stopping by. Keep stacking. Peace.